Distant Worlds is a mod that adds many new elements in the style of techno magic. It features a new dimension where you will find new biomes, functional and decorative blocks, friendly and hostile mobs, materials for better equipment, and a variety of food. So, let's begin. The player receives a Distant Worlds book upon entering the world for the first time. The Garhenna book will receive new entries as you explore and travel. You can use these books to learn all the information you need to start your journey. The gate to the dimension will not be the usual portal but a special item. Defeat the Wither to get this unique artifact. It will be given with a 75% chance to the player who kills the boss with a final hit. Next you must craft Garhenna Eye using an Ender Eye and 3 fire charges. Finally combine the Wither Totem and 2 Garhenna Eyes to get a charged Wither Totem. Descend below height level 5 in the Nether and use the charged Wither Totem while holding it in your hand to teleport to the Garhenna dimension. You can save the point in the Garhenna dimension for the next teleportation. Other portals won't work here, which is why you should bring the return ring with you. You can use it to return to your world from any other. It has a durability which can be increased by Ender Eye. While in your dimension, you can set the point where the ring will teleport you to in the future. If no such point is set, the target will be coordinates where x equals 0, y equals the highest point, and z equals 0. If you set a return point, but at the time of teleportation it is covered by solid blocks, then y will be equal to the highest point according to the specified coordinates. You can see the coordinates of the return point in the interface that appears when you hold the ring in your hands or in the description of the item. The Garhenna is a dark subterranean dimension where your path will be slightly illuminated by the dim lights of local natural lamps. This place is a set of faults in solid rock connected together. Creatures of various origins roam these lands who will be your sworn enemies or even potential allies. Since the dimension is hot and its lowlands are covered with lava, some of its inhabitants are completely immune to fire. If you forgot to create the ring before teleporting into the dimension, all hope is not lost. The local ruins are rich in a variety of resources. Sometimes even valuable artifacts, such as the return ring, can be found among them. Also in the structures of this dimension, you can find Garhenna pouches. When you use each of them, you will get several pieces of various resources. We'll cover the effects that the mod adds now. Depletion is something to consider in this dimension. You'd better hurry before the negative impact of Garhenna reaches a critical value. The Daylight Indicator is a device that will help control this. You can craft it or find it in Garhenna structures. In the interface that appears when you hold it in your hands, or in the description of this item, you can see the following 3 indicators. Garhenna depletion is the level increased by Garhenna's depletion effect. When you reach each quarter of the maximum value, you will receive negative effects. Adaptation is the value that doesn't affect Garhenna depletion, but every 5 points will give you 1 point of permanent immunity. Note that the adaptation points are cancelled after the player's death. Permanent immunity is a value where each of its points will slightly reduce the effect of Garhenna depletion on you. This value is not cancelled unlike the previous one, but it can be reduced by Colophyte Elixir. While in this dimension, you will be affected by the Garhenna depletion effect. This effect will increase the level of depletion by 20 points per second. If you stay here too long, depletion will affect you in the following ways. When you reach 5,000 points, you will be enveloped by a feeling of hunger. However, this will encourage you to consume certain food or elixirs that can reduce the level of depletion. The next quarter of 10,000 points, after which your strength will leave you and it will become more difficult to fight monsters. After reaching 15,000 points of depletion, you will get poisoned. Being in the Garhenna dimension will become extremely dangerous. Reaching 20,000 points will be final, as the player will die. The Garhenna immunity effect will protect you from Garhenna depletion and will additionally reduce the level of depletion, depending on the strength of the effect itself. Entities with the ignition effect will be set on fire whenever they are attacked by another entity. The duration of the burning depends on the strength of the effect. The entity will burn for as many seconds as the strength of the effect. For example, a level 3 effect will set the entity on fire for 3 seconds. Entities with the sticky shackles effect will take damage every time they fall more than half of a block. The amount of damage once again depends on the strength of the effect. The suppression effect will slow down the entity's health regeneration, and the level 5 effect will completely stop it. Salmorans inflict this effect on their victims. Alphas inflict a higher level and duration effect. The supervision effect means that you are under the protection of the Salmoran Crown or a tamed Alpha Salmoran. Salmorans won't attack you first, but it doesn't affect the Alphas. Now we'll take a look at the biomes in this dimension. Molten Hills biome, the cover of which consists of grown fralite, where dalite ore is often found. Among local plants, Colophyte mushrooms are special because they sometimes reach huge sizes. Of the creatures, Norhorns and Booglians live here. The burning plains biome from afar gives the impression that its lands are endlessly burning because each native plant looks like a separate living fire, not even taking into account the magma faults. The ruins in this biome are guarded by ancient phrylite golems. The sticky marshes has pollen flies everywhere, and the soils of this biome are sticky from the slime of the local plants and especially the garsail trees. Local creatures Toran and Lotares are plants themselves. The Dead Valley is a scary place where Salmorans always watch over you from the air. Features of this biome are unusual plants, among which are Wakamir, Fusiana, and Wiltum trees. The local lithium rocks are more resistant than others, and growths of the stone protect the hellist ore inside. The mod adds several materials of increasing value. Curelite ores are often found in the burning plains biome. By destroying it, you will get raw curelite, which can already be used as fuel to maintain fire in conventional and lithium furnaces. Raw curelite can be made into a more saturated form of this material, which is able to give off more energy. Dalite can often be found in the Molten Hills biome. By destroying its ore, you will get raw dalite, which must be smelted into a dalite nugget for further work. Using 5 dalite nuggets, you will be able to craft some dalite crystals. Pure dalite is quite fragile but has the ability to store, concentrate, and transmit a special kind of energy. Varus is a metal with strange properties that is formed from glowing pollen and garsail slime combined together at high temperatures. Hellist is a bewitching multifaceted blue crystal. Valuable Hellist ore is more often found in lithium outgrowths of the Dead Valley biome. By destroying the ore, you will get raw Hellist, which must later be smelted into a Hellist nugget. A single Hellist crystal can be crafted from 9 nuggets. Fyron is a valuable ore found throughout the Garhenna dimension in small quantities. By destroying the ore, you will get raw Fyron, which must later be smelted into a Fyron nugget. Fyron ingots can be crafted with 9 nuggets. Fyron ingots, like all equipment made from this metal, are not susceptible to high temperatures of fire or lava. The mod adds a number of food items. Fusiana jelly is a jelly which you can get from Fusiana sticks. Asmulda are sour berries that grow in small bushes in the burning plains biome. These berries have little healing and nutritional properties. You can grow Asmulda berries on lifeless grass and speed up their growth with bone meal. In addition, Asmulda berries are also stored in small boxes. Asmulda pie is a delicious pie made with Asmulda berries. Asmulda elixir can increase adaptation level with a 5% chance. It applies the Garhenna immunity potion effect for 30 seconds. Colophyte mushrooms have negative properties that can be slightly weakened in Colophyte mushroom stew. Colophyte elixir can lower the level of permanent immunity with 10%. Garsail fruit is an unusual looking and sweet tasting fruit of garsail trees. For convenience, these fruits can be stored in large boxes. Garsail cake is a very tasty and highly nutritious cake made with garsail fruits. Garsail elixir applies Garhenna immunity potion effect for 60 seconds. You can cover a garsail fruit with a layer of Fyron and get a glistering garsail fruit. It has very strong healing properties and is able to saturate you for a long time. It applies the Garhenna immunity potion effect for 100 seconds, regeneration 5 for 30 seconds, strength 3 for 30 seconds, resistance 5 for 60 seconds, and fire resistance for 60 seconds. These fruits can be stored in large boxes. The glistering garsail elixir applies Garhenna immunity potion effect for 150 seconds. Wiltum fruit is the fruit of the Wiltum trees, covered with radiant warts. Its pungent smell attracts locals. These fruits can also be stored in large boxes. The Wiltum cocktail is able to neutralize certain types of poisons. Wiltum elixir applies Garhenna immunity potion effect for 90 seconds. Raw Norhorn meat is a meat that can be cooked. Raw Salmoran meat can also be cooked. Players can tame Salmorans with the Salmoran treat, but you should be careful because wild Salmorans will still try to attack you. Now we'll take a look at the mobs added by the mod. Phrylite golems are awakened molten stones that can move through magic and are often found in the burning plains biome. Those who created them have long since left this place, and faithful servants still continue to guard the abandoned libraries. There are 3 types of golems in total. They differ in their appearance and fighting styles. Druth is a large golem and has a lot of health. It will also be difficult for you to knock him back with your attacks. He's able to inflict the ignition effect on you and set you on fire with the next blows. It can drop molten, phrylite, and a small chance of phrylite heart. Kuthel is a small golem with more movement speed than the others. They prefer to attack in groups and can apply a low-level ignition effect to you. Shrulot is a flying golem capable of long-range air attacks by throwing explosive phrylite stones. You can get molten phrylite and phrylite balls from it. The Coolophyte Shroomer is a small land mob that is peaceful to the player. These creatures are the main food for Norhorns. You can get an accessory called the Coolophyte Shroomer cap from them. When worn on the head, it feeds the player when the food level is less than half. Norhorns are ground mobs from the Molten Hills biome. This mob is neutral towards the player and will run away when you hit them. Norhorns with spikes will be hostile towards the player. They can be recognized by their incredibly strong spikes on their back. They allow these creatures to partially return damage to the enemy that attacked them. From these mobs you can get raw meat that can be cooked and small fragments of their spikes. Using the Culophyte mushroom, Norhorns can be tamed and the health of tamed ones can be increased. Using the Culophyte mushroom stew, you can breed Norhorns. Tamed Norhorns can be armed using Norhorn spikes. You can ride a spikeless Norhorn and control it with a Culophyte mushroom on a stick. Shake the bait to make the Norhorn attack the nearest targets with right mouse button, or temporarily speed up with control and right mouse button. This tool can be found in the structures of the Molten Hills biome. You can create a comfortable couch where tamed Norhorns will be waiting for you. It can also be used by players, or just to be a nice decoration for your home, as it can be dyed like beds. Norhorn spikes can also be used to create a block that will deal damage to all entities nearby, and if there is lava in the immediate vicinity of the block, it will set fire to the victim. Norhorn gloves are an optional combat accessory. When worn, they add some armor, slightly reduce your attack speed, and increase your damage. It will slightly increase the drop rate of Garsail and Wiltum fruits. You can use Norhorn spikes to craft the Norhorn axe, which will slightly increase the drop rate of rare fruits. Also from these spikes and other resources, you can create elements of the Norhorn armor. With some chance, depending on the number of pieces of the armor equipped, it will return damage similar to the Thorns enchantment. The Booglian is a ground mob with good protection in the form of a shell consisting of Ubersite crystals. If you try to attack him, he will hide in his impenetrable shell. From it, you can get Ubersite crystals, which are used in crafting Ubersite ingots. Using Ubersite ingots, you can create an Ubersite hammer that can break blocks immediately in a 3x3 block area. This tool can be crafted on the Lethum altar. The Salmoran is a flying mob that is often found in the Dead Valley biome. They do not tolerate strangers in their home, so when they see you, even from afar, they will try to get closer and hit with their strong tail with a poisonous spike at the end. Scales and meat that can be cooked can be derived from them. Players can tame them with a Salmoran treat, but you should be careful because wild Salmorans will still try to attack you. The chance of taming them is 25%, and otherwise you will be able to make another attempt only after some time. Attacked Salmorans will also get angry at the player, and taming will not be possible for some time. The health and stamina levels of tamed Salmorans can be increased by using the Wiltum fruit. Tamed Salmorans and alpha Salmorans can be bred using the Salmoran treat. After hatching from the egg, small Salmorans still can't use their wings and move by crawling on the ground. If you're close enough at the time of hatching, baby Salmorans will be tamed to you. Otherwise, they just won't be hostile towards you. But if you hit them, they will start attacking you, moving by jumping. When turning into an adult, small Salmorans leave behind scales, which is an ingredient for creating new armor. The alpha Salmoran is much larger and stronger than usual. Their powerful blow pierces the shield, dealing significant damage to it. Upon death, they can drop an eye, which is used in crafting a special accessory, the Salmoran crown. A Salmoran you tamed can be turned into an alpha using the Salmoran eye, and will also protect you from other Salmorans. Tamed alpha Salmorans can be used to fly by 2 players at once. To do this, you will need to constantly hold or gain altitude using the assigned key. The longer the key is pressed, the higher you will fly. Each takeoff spends a corresponding amount of your alpha Salmoran's stamina, and stamina regenerates over time. The crown, when worn, will protect you from the Salmoran's attacks until you hit them. The Salmorans will consider the player with the crown as one of the leaders, but this will not save them from the other alphas. Crowns can be repaired with Salmoran Eye in a crafting table. You can create a comfortable couch where tamed Salmorans will be waiting for you. It can also be just a nice decoration for your home, as it can be dyed like beds. Sometimes it happens that your Salmorans flies too far. You can use the Hellest Bell to make them follow you. Sneak to make even sitting Salmorans follow you. Using Salmoran scales, you can craft the Salmoran armor, which does not have very high strength and durability, but each part of it protects you a little bit from poisonous sting of the Salmoran. The Tauren is a large ground mob found in the Sticky Marshes biome. They look like living Garsail trees and may not be visible in their habitat. After attacking, he will knock you back and apply a Sticky Shackles effect. Upon death, it drops Garsail wood, and with a small chance for sticky Garsail bark, which can be smelted into Garsail slime. Lotares is a flying support mob. They are found in the Sticky Marshes biome and will not be hostile towards the player by themselves. Their ability is to spew pollen profusely for 4 seconds if there is a Tauren nearby with less than full health. All Taurens in range during this time will be subject to a regeneration effect. and all living entities vulnerable to pollen will be poisoned. After using this ability, it will be restored within 20 seconds. If you hit a Lothorus who hasn't used the ability recently, there's a 70% chance to drop some of the pollen and inflict a weak poison effect on entities vulnerable to the pollen in a small radius. To defend yourself, you can use a shield after hitting. From these creatures, you can get glowing pollen and sticky garsail bark with a small chance. Glowing pollen is an ingredient for crafting an accessory called the glowing pollen jar. When worn around the neck, it is able to scatter glowing pollen nearby and temporarily illuminate an area while losing durability. The jar can be filled with 3 glowing pollen in a crafting table. To create advanced equipment, you will need to perform rituals using a special structure as shown here. Shown here is the simplest version of the Lithium altar. In the future, some of its elements can be replaced by more efficient ones. You can see a display of the structure in the game using the Garhenna book. You must craft a Dalite staff to start your rituals. Each time it will lose a little durability. To start the ritual, you must place the correct ingredients on the Lithium core and all the others on the pedestals nearby. You should also have some achievement completed if necessary for the current ritual. Click on the core while holding the Dalite staff in your hand. If everything is correct, then the ritual process will begin and all the ingredients on the pedestals will disappear irrevocably. Otherwise, you will see an error message and have to fix it. Then the ingredient on the core will be replaced with a crafted item. That will do it for the Distant Worlds mod. It's available to download in the description. Thank you for watching and take care.